The rain had been falling for hours, not heavily, just enough to make the city feel slower. Streetlights reflected across wet roads while people hurried past each other, without eye contact. Inside a small apartment, Daniel sat alone in darkness. The glow of a laptop screen illuminated his face, while another unfinished video played in the background. His phone buzzed beside him. Ignored, the room looked like the physical version of mental exhaustion. Half-open books, clothes scattered across the floor, sticky notes covered with plans he never completed. Start gym Monday. Wake up early. Build something meaningful. Disappear and focus. Every promise to himself had slowly become decoration, and deep down Daniel knew it. He had once been considered gifted. Teachers admired him. Friends expected success. Family members constantly reminded him that he would do great things one day. For years, he believed them, but intelligence had become his hiding place. Whenever life became difficult, he analyzed instead of acting. Whenever he failed, he explained it away with logic. Whenever discomfort appeared, he escaped into distraction. He knew exactly what was wrong with his life. That was the problem. Awareness without action had become torture. One night, Daniel sat upright on the edge of his bed. The silence felt unusually heavy. Then a terrifying thought entered his mind. What if this becomes my life forever? He froze, not because the thought was dramatic, because it felt realistic. For years, he had comforted himself with the idea that he still had time. Time to become disciplined. Time to change. Time to become the person he imagined late at night. But now he realized something frightening. He was adapting to disappointment, and that realization scared him more than failure itself. There is nothing more dangerous than becoming comfortable in a life you secretly hate. Daniel looked around the room. The unfinished goals, the endless plans, the motivational videos, the productivity advice. He had consumed years of information, but consumption had become another form of avoidance. Every video provided temporary relief. Every plan created the illusion of progress, but his actual life remained untouched. The next morning, Daniel disappeared. Not physically, psychologically. He stopped replying to messages, stopped posting online, stopped attending gatherings that no longer mattered. Friends started asking questions. Where have you been? You good? Why are you so quiet? Daniel usually typed responses and deleted them seconds later. The truth was difficult to explain. He wasn't trying to become mysterious. He was trying to survive himself. Days passed, then weeks. For the first time in years, Daniel sat alone without constantly drowning his mind in noise. No endless scrolling, no mindless entertainment, no distractions. And the silence was brutal, because silence forces confrontation. At night, thoughts he had avoided for years finally surfaced. The opportunities he wasted, the habits destroying him, the fear controlling his decisions. Then he realized something painful. He wasn't lazy. He was emotionally addicted to comfort. Every time life became uncomfortable, he escaped. Scrolling, watching, delaying, overthinking. His intelligence had simply made the pattern harder to detect because he could always justify behavior. But explanations never change outcomes. One evening, Daniel stood in front of a mirror, staring at himself. Tired eyes, heavy mind, constant guilt hidden beneath silence. What happened to me? He whispered. The question echoed through him, not because he didn't know the answer, because he finally did. His life hadn't collapsed in one dramatic moment. It had collapsed through thousands of small decisions. Sleeping instead of working, avoiding instead of confronting, consuming instead of creating. Most people think destruction happens suddenly. In reality, people slowly negotiate themselves into misery. That night, Daniel sat beside a window and watched the empty streets until sunrise. And somewhere between exhaustion and clarity, something changed. Not motivation, not inspiration, something deeper, responsibility. For the first time, he stopped waiting to feel ready, because he finally understood a brutal truth. Feelings had been controlling his entire life. If he felt motivated, he worked. If he felt tired, he escaped. If he felt uncertain, he delayed action. His emotions had become his master, and that realization disgusted him. The next morning was ordinary. No breakthrough, no dramatic transformation. Daniel simply woke up early and did what needed to be done. Quietly, he cleaned his room, went for a run, read for an hour, worked without announcing it. The actions were small, but psychologically, they were revolutionary, because every disciplined action rebuilt trust with himself. Weeks turned into months. Slowly, the chaos inside his mind began to settle. Not perfectly. There were still difficult nights, still moments of doubt, still mornings where he wanted to quit. But this time, he kept moving anyway, and that changed everything. Real discipline begins when a person stops negotiating with excuses. Eventually, people started noticing Daniel again, but he felt different, calmer, more distant from meaningless noise. He no longer needed constant attention or validation because isolation had taught him something most people never learn. Healing is quiet. Growth is quiet. Transformation is quiet. One afternoon, an old friend asked him, "Why did you disappear for so long?" Daniel looked out the window before answering, "I think I got tired of avoiding my own life." His friend laughed softly, assuming it was another deep statement. But Daniel wasn't joking. Because intelligent people do not disappear because they hate the world. Sometimes they disappear because they realize they can no longer keep betraying themselves. And in the silence, they either break completely or rebuild into someone stronger.